So I just came back from Thailand, where I spent close to a month traveling across Thailand and Laos with my parents. And honestly, I didn't really know what to expect from this trip, as my parents didn't want to tell me anything. Like, they refused to even let me book accommodation. We pretty much kicked off the trip with a road trip. And honestly, I thought this road trip was going to be like at least like at most 3 hours or like 5 hours. It ended up being freaking 30 hours. We pretty much drove from Bangkok all the way to the border of Laos and Thailand. And then we spent a few days in Thailand and then drove all the way back to Bangkok. And to be honest, while I hated being in the car for that long, there were so many incredible things that I got to experience on that road trip. For example, I got to see elephants in person. And honestly, they were just like these beautiful and majestic creatures. And the crazy thing is I also got to see them paint, which is something that I never thought I would ever be able to see. Another highlight of this trip was that we got to visit like this mountain. We drove up this mountain through these windy roads that just kept taking us up and up and up until we reached the very top, where we could see the whole city. Was it a city? I don't even know. It was quite foggy, but incredible nonetheless. And we also got to stay there overnight, which was crazy, as I got to see all the little lights twinkling at night, which was just beautiful. During the visit to that mountain, we also got to visit one of these temples. And during this visit to the temple, I mean, like, the architecture is cool and all, but there was also a bunch of dogs there, which the highlight. They were so big and fluffy, and there were so many of them, and they were so friendly. I think made the whole temple experience a lot better. One thing I didn't know about Thailand was that they were built like this. And what I mean is like the shopping centers. Specifically in the Siam area, there's like these 4 shopping centers, all like 9-story high, and they're like right next to each other. So there's like the MBK Mall, there's like Siam Paragon, Siam Discovery, and Central World. And they are filled with all the brands that you know and love, as well as like these small brands that you've probably never heard of, or that I've only really seen overseas, like Japan. For example, like 2nd Street and A-Land or Island, it's called. There's so many fashionable people in Thailand, in Bangkok, and they're willing to be fashionable despite the heat. I mean, there's like one time where I saw a guy in a blazer and a turtleneck, despite it being like 30 degrees at night, and I respect it. Going back to shopping centers, especially like Central World, they almost seemed like a art gallery in itself. There was like all these blow-up pieces of like these flowers or like this radish that they had around the center, and it was so fun and playful. On top of these blow-up pieces, there was also like a lot of like these cool pop-up stores. So I saw one for the HBO series White Lotus. They were selling the clothes, or they had the clothes from the show on display. There was also this one pop-up store. I don't know what it was, but they had like all these little stations. For example, like a mini golf station. They had like a Muay Thai boxing station. But yeah, that was just so cool to see across these 4 different shopping centers that they had like multiple pop-up stores. That kind of added to experience. Walking through the center, I saw this sign that said Sea World, which was freaking insane. And no, it wasn't really like a Sea World like we have here in Australia. It was more of an aquarium, and apparently it's the biggest aquarium in Southeast Asia, and it was insane. I think walking through this aquarium made me remember just how beautiful sea life could be. The highlights were definitely like the sharks. There was like this room where the floor was glass. We got to see fish and sharks swim underneath us. which was so cool. I also loved like the stingrays. There was these small stingrays that were just gliding through the water, and they were like so playful and majestic in the way they were doing it. I also really liked the jellyfish. There was something about just seeing them float there that was so calming and relaxing. I could honestly like watch them for hours. So outside of one of the shopping centers is the Bangkok Art and Culture Center, and I thought that this art gallery was beautiful. Again, like the shopping centers, they're like, it was like 9-story high. Walking around the art center or art gallery, I checked out one of the exhibitions going on at the moment by this artist called Her. She had like a lot of these cool artworks that almost like a child's imagination. They're very colorful, playful, but it's kind of like sad in a way. So another highlight was this dinner cruise by the Icon Siam, which was this other huge shopping center. Unfortunately, I didn't get to explore it because I was like done and over shopping by that point, but it was beautiful when we walked through it to get to the pier. I think this dinner cruise, the food was like okay, it was mid, but the views and the entertainment, I mean the entertainment was like also mid. But the cruise itself was beautiful. Being able to see Bangkok at night was an experience, especially going past like the Wat Arun temple and the Grand Palace at night and seeing it lit up at night. That was incredible. Having spent about 25 days in Thailand, I got to experience incredible things, eat incredible food, and most importantly, like empty my wallet at these incredible shopping centers. I think what I appreciate most was just seeing more of the broader Hmong community and being immersed within that community and seeing how not only they lived but also the Laos and Thai people lived. And most importantly, I got to see how my parents grew up. I feel like I can better understand my parents because of this experience. If you're thinking about coming to Thailand, whether alone or with friends, I definitely recommend it. I think even being there for 25 days, I feel like there's still a few things that I haven't done. There's honestly like so much to do, eat and see, and I honestly would love to come back just even alone, just to cafe hop and do a lot more shopping.